All right, y'all. Welcome to Street Church. Uh, Congregation, come on in. And for first time visitors, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, y'all. We're gonna be talking about Devon Archer, the former business partner of Hunter Biden. Um, and how this may end up being a successful impeachment. Um, on behalf of against Joe Biden. And somebody is somebody's got to get in trouble, right? Somebody's got to be held accountable and actually physically be held accountable. And if there's any criminality in what's being discovered, right? It needs, like, the only way we are going to trust the government is if something get done, because I don't care how much spin they trying to keep putting on this Biden situation. To me, the evidence is clear and it's enough for indictments on all parties involved. And I think that there was a time in the US history, right? The history of the government, where by this time something would have been done to where people would have been brought to justice, right? And this corruption would have been condemned by the media like it should be now. All people would be in agreement that this is corrupt. And this, years ago, right, would have destroyed an administration, a presidential administration. Whoever was sitting as president would have been impeached. They would have had to resign, I believe, right, as president. So it's troubling that with all of this information, the media and the Department of Justice and the FBI is allowed to keep Biden and his son from facing real charges, and other people who was involved from facing real charges and be held accountable. It just seems wrong. And it seems like it's wrong for the American people. Like the American people, us, US citizens, are being wronged by the government and other powers that be. And the real question is when is this going to be put to a stop? When is it that people like Whoopi Goldberg and them and On the View are allowed to have their audience, be manipulated into believing the narrative that they laying out is the truth, right? Because every time something gets exposed, they put a spin on it. And then that seems like it puts an end to the momentum of it. Same way with CBS, ABC, MSNBC, NBC, CNN. It just seems like these people are allowed to have more power through the media and in entertainment to dispel what's right before our eyes and just dispel it and just end it. Spin it and end it. Let them come with something else. We'll spin it and we'll end it. Seems like that's what's going on. And because this testimony, Devon Archer, who is already There's no way around this, but they're already working to try to dispel, spin it and end it with Devon Archer, right? And Riley through discrediting him, you know what I'm saying? Find a way to discredit him, right? But it's clear. Or they'll just deflect, or they'll defend, right? It's either dispel, deflect, or defend, or deter, right? From anybody being held accountable, because Joe Biden and Hunter Biden are the ones, and they're those who were in cahoots with them, they the ones that need to be held responsible. The American people deserve justice and righteousness to be served at all times by our government, by our public relations people, right? I'm saying this is the media. I feel like they're our public relations people, right? They are relaying to us, the public, what is going on in places where we don't have the resources to do the research or investigate. And we shouldn't have to, because this is why we give them ratings, right? That we view their stuff, because we expect them to do the investigation, to do real journalism, to be honest with us, to stop trying to, dispel, deflect, defend, right? Or deter. Because there's obvious corruption going on with Hunter Biden and the business dealings he had with his father and his family members, right? Some of his family members included. And we already know this because information is coming out. We're talking about, they said they have 20 different shell companies. Why would you have 20 different shell companies if you're doing honest business? Shell companies are fake ghost companies. You see what I'm saying? Fake companies. They don't really exist to provide any goods or services. The only thing that they provide is cover for corrupt business dealings. That's why they call shells, right? It's that game where they take the ball and throw the, put the shells around it, and you have to guess where that ball is. That's why they're called shell companies, right? You see that 3 card. You know how you do on the streets with them 3 cards, and then you got to figure out which one is the card, pick the right card. Same way, shell, the ball, boom, boom, boom. Shell companies. That's what they doing. Why would they need to do that if it was honest business? Devon Archer's said that it's the Biden brand. He explained it as the Biden brand, right? The intimidation and the status that Biden had, Joe Biden, the president of the United States currently. It was his status that Hunter Biden worked from. That in itself is troubling. And the way it's explained about foreign dealings, right? It's impeachable behavior for the president of the United States, which is Joe Biden. The shell companies, stuff that was, and then the way that they put in the names that they put these businesses in, he was putting these in his grandchildren's name. That's what they was doing, putting these good. Why would when you start doing? Listen, I know how it is because I'm a former street dude, a former drug dealer. You do all of these things to hide the true nature of your business dealings. And the fact that this ain't what's going to take them down, that's troubling. This should have already took him down. But they keep on talking about, the polls is down on his approval rating and stuff like that. Hoping that this will push the narrative to get him out of office. No, but this right here is enough information and enough documentation to have him impeached. And that's what should be happening. He should be impeached. And another thing is the ones who are admitting to all of this foul play, indictments need to be handed out. And Hunter Biden should not receive a deal, plea bargain, deal, nothing. He should get time for his crimes. Particularly the gun. Because they should lead by example. The Department of Justice should lead by example. Here it is, you got people like, is it Bezos? And you got Biden talking about what they're going to do for assault rifles, and you don't want to see your son be held accountable? That's leading by example. You should hold your son accountable. Say, this is for anybody because something could have went bad with that gun that he had at the time illegally. Right? What if he had killed a hooker with the gun that he was messing with? On accident. I ain't talking about murder or nothing. I'm just talking about on accident. He's get high, play with the gun go off accidentally. Come on, this is street church. We're going to lay it all out here. Right? What if their business dealings would have caused something to happen that opened the door for an adversary from another country to get access to us, which is already happening? But think about this stuff. There's all kinds of things that could happen because of the malicious mishandling of the way that they did business as a family, right? It's corrupt. It's corrupt. And it's not stand up. We expect our politicians and we expect their families, because their families are an extension of them. Listen, when everything is going good, they take photo ops with their family and hold their family in high esteem and get everybody involved in these photo ops to make it seem like they're family people and that they're church-going people. Come on now. But then they shun away and go hide somewhere and go on vacation all this time when there's something bad going on with their family. Where's the photo ops now of you and your brother and your son proudly standing up for that corrupt business dealings y'all was doing back when you was vice president? Why you don't got your chest out now and taking photo ops with all your, your brother and your son and your grandkids? Everybody that y'all got involved voluntarily and involuntarily, right? By default, all involved in this corrupt business dealings that you had going on, all for money. Nothing else. Nothing else. Just money. Just money. Just being cocky when he was younger and his mind was functioning. Money. Cocky. Money, power, sexual immorality. It's like father, like son. His son don't get that for nothing. His dad was a kisser, a filler, and a sniffer. And when he was, younger, probably was a cheater. Laid with a few. He's just old now. And so now we think, he's feeble. Let's feel sorry for him. But no. There's people who do crimes and 20 years later, they still lock them up with no problem. 30 years, 40 years before they face time for their crimes. And Biden, you done had a good run, But now you need to be impeached because you done did so much damage in all your 47, 50 some years. Like you close to doing 50 years in office in some form of politics, in some form of government. You've been involved for like almost 50 years. And there's always corruption around you. Your involvement in corruption, falsehood, lying, saying terrible things towards minorities, being the bigot and racist that that people accuse Trump of being. You have been caught being that person more than Trump. I don't think Trump ever been caught being a bigot or a racist out in the open in public. But you are on record saying some of the most racist, prejudiced things that you could say to a race of people. And your politics have been involved in trying to keep minorities from moving forward and advancing and getting past the dark history of the United States of America. So I almost want to say you are the if it was as a such thing as this, you and your son Hunter Biden would be the epitome of what it means to have white privilege, to be inherently racist. If it was a such thing. But that narrative and sadly it's our own black people trying to push that narrative for the sake of the Democratic Party. They trying to push that narrative. That's where critical race theory comes from. And that's where diversity, equity, and inclusion come from. They trying to push that narrative, and that's sad because a lot of that, what they saying, it comes from their own party. It don't even come from the conservatives. It comes from the liberals and the progressives of the Democratic Party, right? It don't come from the right wing. And not to say ain't no prejudice over there or no racism going on. Yeah, it is. It's both parties. But I'm saying to a severe degree where it's doing harm to minorities, it's coming from the Democratic Party. That's the degree that is coming from the Democratic Party. There are so many policies that they're putting in place right now that's going to hurt minorities rather than help them. But yes, Biden and his son Hunter, it is time to pay the penalties, like the real penalties for your crimes. Their crimes. And they're crimes against America because you were the sitting vice president then, you're the president now. But you was the vice president then, so the crimes are against America, right? It's against Americans, right? It's against Americans. So we as Americans, we need to see you held accountable so that we can believe and trust in our government. For the sake of trusting our government to be fair and transparent, right? And be held up at a higher standard. For that trust to know that they are going to hold themselves to a higher standard, we need to see the impeachment of President Joe Biden. And we need to see that Hunter served some time for his actions with the gun. Because he obtained it and had possession of it illegally. And he needs to be made an example of so everybody can see that this is what happens when you try to bear arms illegally. You can't do it in America. And you shouldn't do it in America. But Devin Archer, I think, is going to take this uh, House committee investigation in a whole new different direction. And I think that I almost want to say that Devon Archer is the nail in the coffin. But the power that the social media and news media holds now, and the weaponization of the DOJ, Department of Justice, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations, and even the CIA and Homeland Security, they all got a part in this, right? I believe that they will be able to stop anybody from being held accountable. I don't think Hunter Biden and Joe Biden will be held accountable. And I think when it really matters the most, the power of politics, right? The people in position, it will change to where this thing will not ever gain any traction. It will always look like it's going to gain traction, but it'll never gain traction. Yep. And I think one of the reasons I want to say this too, I'm gonna read some scripture. I'm gonna let the congregation out. I think one of the reasons why it won't happen, right? Nobody be held accountable, because the threat of somebody else that don't want to be taken down, right? Don't want to be exposed. They're on the other side. See, like, it's Republicans that have dirt against them, right? Somebody know where the bodies are buried. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody knows where the bodies are buried. I'm just using that as an analogy, right? They know stuff about other people that they don't want it to come out, and they're in a position to stop certain things from ever getting out to really expose Biden, Joe Biden and his son Hunter, right? If anything, the only person that will get dealt with is eventually Hunter will have to get locked up and fall on the sword. He will have to be the scapegoat to get it off Joe. Because if Joe Biden, if it starts coming down to where he getting impeached, he's going to send the DOJ, the Department of Justice, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation against other people that can get exposed for their dealings. That's just like he did Trump. See what I'm saying? And that ain't him, that's Obama. I don't care what nobody's saying. This is for educational purposes. You know, YouTube can flag me if they want to. They can do whatever they want to, because I'm not being monetized anyway. So they can send a warning. They can send a flag. They can send a strike. You know, they can send an X. They can send whatever they want to. But for educational purposes, I really believe the strategy against Trump right now, based on the way Hillary and Obama did Trump during his campaign, and the way he, changed over the administration to Trump, how he tried to do Trump when they was changing over the administration, when he was leaving on his way out. And I believe that all the moves, right? All the moves are going through Hillary and Obama, right? This administration is Hillary and Obama. Obama is the president. Hillary is the vice president right now of the Biden administration. And I think all decisions and approvals and all that go through Obama and Hillary. I believe that. I believe that. And that's just my opinion. But I'm sticking to that. I believe that. It's Obama and Hillary. Because the moves are too similar to the things they tried to do to Trump when he was going into office as president. And the moves is too slick. It's too smooth. It's too slick the way it's orchestrated. That's not orchestrated by Biden, Joe Biden. No, not in the mental state he in now, and it wouldn't be in his younger days. If it was Biden in his younger days, man, he'd be on a platform speaking, talking, cutting into Trump, talking about Trump. It'll be a kick down fight. The old Joe Biden, oh yeah, this will be a campaign of disrespect. Smooth talking, slick talking. No, this wouldn't be calculated like this is. This is too well orchestrated. This is Obama. This is Hillary. It's what it is. And they just down there, they there talking to like the squad, members of the squad, um, other people like in Congress, and that's who is running all the policies and all the Gavin Newsom. All of them are together, connecting dots. What's that woman down in Georgia, Stacey Abrams? All of that. Why you think something is coming down the pipeline from Georgia against Trump? Come on now, this is street church. We're gonna lay it all out here. You know what I'm saying? So, I ain't caring nothing about what YouTube got for me coming on this video, trying to strike it down. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care all of a sudden how all my videos, they got the same format and I'm talking the same way, sitting in the same chair. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, these are so-called not ad-friendly videos no more. But the other 30 that have ads on them are the same way. I ain't changed nothing. Same light, same smoke detector there, same hats. I ain't changed nothing. I don't cuss in the videos, swear, speak profanity, none of that. Nothing has changed. But all of a sudden, they send me a warning. I do a video about the warning. And it was about something about Biden. It was about the Inflation Reduction Act bill that he signed. Send me a warning. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying now. But listen, anyway, I said I wasn't going to talk that long. Let the congregation out. I'm going to read a couple of scriptures, maybe even one scripture. And then I'm going to let the congregation out. Right? All right. So, I saw some, but okay. Here it goes. I'm only going to read this one, right? And this is just going to put this all in perspective. What it's really about. What it really is. What it boils down to, okay? All right, congregation. I'm glad y'all just staying with me too, okay? And don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe. And when everything is up and running, become a member and buy a lot of stuff from the store, okay? Anyway, this is going to be Proverbs chapter 14, verse 34. This says it all. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Listen what it says. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. What Biden has had going on in politics for all the years he's been in politics, the corrupt business dealings that he had going on as the sitting vice president, right? Between him and his son and his son's business partners. That was a reproach against the people of the United States of America. It was unrighteous, and it did nothing to exalt us as a nation. And it continues to make us look bad as a people. Because that's what unrighteousness and wickedness does. When it is done by the government that is supposed to be held by a higher standard, it brings reproach on us as a nation. It makes us look foul to everybody. And also, when it is covered up, when it is no justice, when the unrighteous deeds are done, when there is no justice, nobody held accountable, that is a reproach against us as a nation. So listen, this is Street Church. I'm going to let the congregation out. Y'all be blessed. God bless.